Okay, Rainbow Road is the first pick, I believe. Let me see. It's 3 lap. Ready? It's both players. Okay, there's the countdown. I'm trying to sync it up. Let me. I tried. Oh, it just re caught up. Nice. Okay, doesn't matter. So we're on to track number 1. This is gonna be best of 5 sets, and same with the tracks. We're going the entire length of Rainbow Road, so I guess yeah, that'll happen too. The ads. Looks like Dan missed an SSMT there. Oh, messed up the shroom. Um, Definitely for both players, this is a good track to let off the nerves a little bit. I know both players have insane nerve control, which is why they're able to get world records. But in the one try, I find it nice to do like a really long track like Rainbow Road or Toad's Turnpike. What is going on with this? Okay. Is the sidebar ad just stuck there? Dude. This is a disaster already. I didn't even see the split. Oh my gosh. Alright. Looks like by the chomp patterns, both players are pretty close. I think Matthias is ahead by just a little bit. Okay, Matthias was about 0.3 ahead. What is Streamlink? Is that just a site? I know that you can pull up both streams at once, right? Do you avoid ads with that? Or is there still like sidebar ads and stuff? Because if that's the case, I would rather have done that. Okay. I might actually, I don't know. Hopefully I can try to do that, maybe. Maybe pull that up or something. Okay, never mind. I guess we're just gonna have to stick with this and hope the sidebar ads don't mess up. Coming into the end of lap number 2, 157.46, 157.85, so it is close. Dan taking the lead again. Dan does have a world record here by quite a bit. Yeah, I won't mess with it right now. Something that I need to learn with the the more that I host. I do have some stats pulled up here on the side from their last 2 matches last season. And they played 2 matches. Week 5 match, that was a best of 5 sets like this one. And the final, which was a best of 7 sets. And went to 7 sets as well. Very long match. In those 2 matches, Raymer Road was picked twice, and Dan both won both times, so we'll see how the end of this track goes. Shroom is pretty good for, a lot better for Matthias, as Dan bonks a little bit, but going around the chomp there, also going around. Coming up to the finish. Oh my gosh, are you serious? How long of a sidebar ad was that? 5:53:42, 5:53:37. Okay. Jeez, what a disaster on my end. I apologize for the stuff here. And it's frozen. Oh my gosh. Dude. I'll refresh, see what happens.
Hey Dad, I got a complete
Oh my gosh, bro.
for a Hyundai Tucson.
Enjoy the new car, the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on select Hyundai vehicles. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
Okay. And Twitch Turbo has something to say. Awesome. And it's still frozen. Okay, there we go. If Twitch Turbo goes away, I'm going to be pissed because I'm going to crop this a certain way. Thank you. Thank you, Ed. Okay, gotta crop it correctly this time. I went back. Oh my gosh. Why is it? There we go. Really shouldn't be having this many issues, but I'll try to work around. Now that we know I don't have any more ads on Matthias's side, so it'll be easier to run here. I apologize again, this is a disaster. Uma Farm is oh, I forgot to crop this side. Oh my gosh. Dude, what? Why didn't it? I'm holding shift. What the fuck? There. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, now that hopefully the technical issues are out of the way, we can go on to Moon Farm here. This is a major track that both players picked last year. 6 times between the two matches. And Matthias won 5 of them, with Dan winning 1. So we'll see how it goes. Big thing here, obviously, the moles, but for both these players, as we get into really hard strats, getting these hills correctly is very important. Good shrooms from both players. 29-36. 29-30. Oh, tied here. Really? I might actually try that. Good MTs there. That's the important one that Dan just did. Oh. Good shroom there for Matthias. Dan. 29-16. 29-28. So Matthias is a little bit ahead. Going into lap 3. Decent MT there from Matthias. Really good one from Dan. Ooh, it's going to be close. Matthias's last shroom. Very solid. Dan going... Oh, hitting the mole. Went aggressive there. And is going to lose this one. Two 0 for Matthias at the start of this. KD is the pick. See who's ahead, and I'll try to get this going. Why can I not? Okay. It's impossible for me to sync them up right now. It's just awful. One shroom on lap 1 for both players. 41.54 from Matthias. Dan with a 41.75. $42.68 from Matthias. 42.76, so Matthias is ahead by a little bit, going into lap 3. Winning the train there. Dan misses the hill hops. Double shroom from Matthias, looks good. Dan with a pretty close double shroom. Looking good so far. Coming up into the final MTs. Really? And Matthias takes set number 1. Alright, Yoshi Valley is the pick to open up set number 2. Oh my gosh. This is the last thing I'm going to say about the technical issues. I was typing, they asked me to type in the countdown faster, and as soon as I typed 3, I got a message from Discord saying that something expired. Just can't make it work right now. Yoshi Valley comes down to the spiniest for both players. In the last 2 matches, it has been picked 2 times with an even split between both players. Clean lap 1s for both players. Both gonna do hill hops, obviously, as they're very experienced and they can save a lot of time. 3409. $33.94, pretty solid from Dan. Matthias bonks there, but Dan hits the spiny, trying to go inside there. Kind of risky, but that's what you need to do in this match. And falls off. So Dan gonna need Matthias to make a mistake here if he wants to catch back up. 34.85. Solid split there from Matthias. Takes the easy route. Clean. And a nice hairpin. Another spiny hit. And another one for Dan. Looks like Matthias is going to take this one easy. Not even trying the hill hops, I guess. All right. Good one from Matthias there. Clean all the way through. Ends up going safe route on lap 3. I just pray that... Please... please... Will the technical issues end, I swear. Even if they're not synced, I will do my best to try to give pace checks on some of the longer tracks. Yes, I can do that real quick. Really, 160p? Let's do... Banshee Boardwalk is the pick. Okay. I did the countdown as fast as possible, as they both requested. Okay, it's actually close. Nice! Small win here. Banshee Boardwalk has been a huge pick in the last 2 matches for both players. 4 total times picked. Dan falls off instantly. And now Matthias just needs to not make any major mistakes, as falling off is kind of just kills it completely unless Matthias will make a mistake. Ends up going clean and safe. Sometimes when players go clean and safe, the other player can catch up, but this is just, I mean, the 2 best players in the world. I don't think that Dan can catch up. Only if Matthias makes a big mistake. 43.27. $51.17. Yeah, it's quite a big distance to catch up for Dan. $42.14, solid from Matthias. Again, pretty much over, unless a huge mistake happens. See, in these situations, sometimes it can be good for the player that fell in to just calm down and drive easy here. Good trim there from Dan. Oh, makes a small mistake. Matthias. Finishes and wins the next track. 2:07.87. 2:15, 36. And Matthias holds a pretty big lead. One more track win here will give him a 2-0 set lead. Dan picks Wario Stadium here. Oh my gosh, dude. Why does that keep happening? Okay. Still ends up being pretty close. Nice. We got a long track here. A lot of different strategies go into this track. Big ones are the shrooms, and flip-flop MT can play a huge part. In the last two matches from last year, Wario Stadium was picked once in each match, and it was an even split from both players. Room from Matthias and Dan, both looking pretty nice. Remember that Matthias started a little bit earlier, like around half a second, maybe a little over. Oh, Dan missed that MT there. So I think a good pace check is going off of this huge ramp here. So it looks like Matthias is about like 0.3 ahead. Let's see what the times show. (127.23), 127.70. So yes, Matthias is ahead by around 0.5. Oh, Matthias bonks there. Small mistake, but it can add up. Might be just what Dan needs to catch up here. Good save there from Dan. Most players would not be able to hit that MT after the bonk. Shroom from both players, you know, pretty solid. Here comes the flip-flop. Matthias hits it. Dan hits it. Flip-flop. Perfect from both players. Dan cart danced, but recovered so fast. It kind of looked like he didn't even cart dance. Ooh. Dan not able to get the MT coming off the ramp there. And it looks like Dan bonked again. So Matthias going to be out ahead. 127.09, 127.76. Dan going to need a monumental lap here. And probably going to need Matthias to make one or two mistakes if he wants to catch up and save the set. Dan makes a bonk there. Matthias driving clean. Shroom for Matthias. Nice and clean. Dan a little bit better. Difference is going to be hard to make up. Flip-flop for Matthias. Looks solid. Same for Dan. Dan's flip-flops have been better. It's just Dan makes a couple mistakes and loses time. And Matthias driving pretty amazing so far. Matthias, I don't think he got that MT. Coming up on the final turn here. Let's see who takes it. 121.37, 122.77. So Matthias jumps out to a 2-set lead. We're going into set number 3 here, where Matthias just 3 tracks away from taking this. Dan wants some chaos. DKJP is the pick. All right, here we go. It all comes down to good ramps, obviously. Looking at their matches from last year, 2 times picked, and an even split for both players on this track. Looks like Matthias is out ahead by like 0.1, so it is almost evenly synced. First jump. Looking better for Dan, but solid from both players. Dan doesn't hit that MT in the grass there, and Matthias does, playing it safer and going outside. Cave climb is also a huge factor. Good for both players. Better for Dan, I think. 74 and 77, very close. Just 0.03 separating the players. Second ramp jump. Looks good for Matthias. Looks good for Dan. Matthias got a really good one. Dan with a solid one. Both players playing very, very well. Out of their minds right now. Oh, Matthias missed the bridge MT. That is going to cost him a lot. Cave climb. Solid for both players. A little bit better for Dan. 84. 45-14. The ramp saves Matthias to keep the lead here. Here comes the ramp. Ooh, Dan with a bad ramp. But Matthias... Oh! Matthias with a practically perfect ramp. I thought it was over for Matthias. But he ends up hitting it. And just running away with it now. Wow. That might be the best ramp I've ever seen in one tries. Cave climb for Matthias. Looks solid. Dan finishing out as well with a pretty good time. But again, another win for Matthias here. 2:14.03. Wow. Just very good. Matthias leads 1-0 in set number 3 with a 2-set lead. So 2 tracks is all Matthias needs to win the match. Move farm again in set 3. Both players ready. Gosh. I'll tell you what, the countdown issue is because of on mobile, the microphone is covering the send button. So when you try to send messages as fast as possible, it tries to click the microphone, which is really annoying. We saw Matthias take this track the first time because Dan hit a mole. Dan kart dancing there. Let's see. First room for Matthias, good. Also good for Dan. I think Matthias is going to be ahead a little bit. 29.56. No, not that big of a difference, 29.60. Looking solid so far. Here's the important MT. Looks solid for both players. A little bit better for Matthias. Clipping there. Dan kind of losing a little bit of time. Still keeping up. Ooh, hitting a mole there. Just rough there from Dan. Cannot get any luck with the moles today. 31.27 is the time. Matthias out ahead by a couple seconds now. All comes down to the final mole for Matthias. Going safe. Holding the drift the entire way. Dan going as... Getting a pretty good shroom there. Almost bringing it back. Whoa. Oh, jeez. I hadn't realized how close it had gotten at the end there. There it is. Matthias 1 track away from taking the match perfectly. I believe we might see a shortcut or a flap from Dan. Let's see. Yeah, just a crazy lap 3 from Dan there. I tell you, if Dan finds a way to come back and win this set, it'll be insane. Yes, it is down to match point. And Yoshi Valley's the pick with the game on the line from Dan. Perfect countdown there. We saw Matthias take this track last set. See if Dan can clean it up. Matthias gonna start here about 0.3, 0.2 ahead. First room looks solid for both players. Matthias not able to get that MT. Looking good from Dan there. Hairpin. Good for both players. Again, lap 1. Pretty easy cycles. Wouldn't have expected either player to hit a spiny. Here come the nulls. Good there from Matthias. Dan falling behind. 65 lap 1. That's incredible. 93 from Dan. Both players very good lap ones. Hitting the spiny is Matthias. Dan going, oh, getting stuck, but not hitting a spiny. Wow, it's very close now. Because the recovery from Matthias was pretty solid. Still gonna come down to driving. Good from both players. Let's see the times. 35.88. No, Dan is out ahead by quite a bit, about 0.5 here, but it comes down to the spinies here. Dan hits the MT and gets through clean. Wow. Dan just needs to hit the hairpin. And will probably take the first track of the match for him. Nice job there from Dan. 143.25. Yeah, that opener is pretty insane. Also, that lap 3 for Dan was very good. Matthias with the pick here to try to take the match again. Still match point. Dan will have to win 2 more tracks in a row to keep it going. Banshee Boardwalk is the pick. Oh. Dan's feed cut out. Even get Dan's stream to refresh. Okay, now we're back. All right, Banshee Boardwalk. We saw Dan fall in instantly on the first time they played this. See how this goes. Matthias starting about 2 seconds ahead. So I'll try to give a pace check here. Didn't really get to analyze either player last time because of the fall in. This is a very technical track. Good shrooms there for both players. Here comes the bat house. Oh, Dan, cart dancing and missing an MT. So falling behind here. $41.99, $42.13. I believe Matthias missed a SSMT, the first one, coming up to the finish line. Ah, Dan missing MTs. Really rough there. Here's the bad house. Very solid from both players, to be honest. '51 lap 2, amazing. 42.04. We'll see how this one ends. Matthias holding a lead. There's the shroom. Matthias clean shroom. Dan clean. Matthias going through the bad house. Very clean. Dan missing an MT. Let's see the finish. Matthias. It's that MT. Final one. Might do it here. 2:05:01. Yes, that is going to do it. GG's. Oh my gosh, hold on. Dan wins 3-0. Or Matthias wins 3-0. I made that mistake.